Oh, good morning, scrappers and scrapettes, and all you wonderful people on TikTok. I hope everybody is well this morning. It is 7:45 a.m. here in Connecticut, and we finally, thank God, got some much-needed rain. I spent some time yesterday. They're running a huge special on storage units, and what I'm doing now is the storage place isn't too far, so basically what I'm doing is I'm filling, as I scrap things, I'll fill the bins, I'll take them over to the unit, I'll sort them, and then pick out whatever it is I'm going to ship. I really can't stand the mess anymore. Plus, of course, I'm going under construction at some point soon. So, you know. Anyway, I have two things this morning. This is a polywell. I called it a polycon. It's not. Polycon is also a server production company. And I'm not sure if they're related or not. My knowledge doesn't go that far back. I've already taken a look inside. Basically, this is a glorified gaming computer. It is something called a production server, but I'll get to that in a minute. What I thought I would also do is take a minute to show you some of the other gold-bearing materials. My eBay store is CT Band Instruments. And if you look on my profile page, usually I will post a link up, not a link, but a description of whatever's going to be in the store. I haven't gotten this weekend stuff up yet. That's on the agenda for today. Remember, guys, if you see something in the eBay store, my suggestion is grab it. I will always add more for my subscribers. Just let me know you're one of my wonderful subscribers. I will add more to it for you. I always do. You can ask anybody who's bought from me, and but this way you can grab it. And if you're buying internationally, I hate to say it, I'm beginning to think eBay is the only way to go. I'm reputable. I have my own business, registered business, Connecticut Band Instruments, Shelton, Connecticut. You can find me, and I treat this as part of my regular business. Anyway, well, I did something kind of stupid. I had 10 pounds of RAM available, and things were getting really slow. And of course, those of you who know that our commander-in-chief has started a whole nother tariff thing on August 1st. I don't even pretend to try to understand it. I can't. I just thank God that this country has a system of checks and balances to prevent any one individual anywhere, whoever it is, from dictating world policy. But of course, everything kicked in this morning. The stock market is way down after a magnificent run this week. Copper was one of the first things to really take a hit. We were down to $1.49 a pound yesterday. So I am holding I'm holding copper again. I didn't sell all of my copper. I sold half. And that's kind of a strategy I use with managing my stock portfolio. I'll sell half in case it goes up more, and then I'll make sure I make profit in case it goes down. That's just me. You guys can do what you want. Some people. The other thing that happens too is when everybody dumps it because the price gets high, it causes a glut, and that makes the price go down. So you gotta do what's right for you, right? All right. So I have my coffee. It's pouring outside, so I don't know how much I will be able to retrieve because I'm going to have to dodge the raindrops this morning. Alright, let me just scoot over here real quick. And what I want to do is show you some of the other gold bearing materials that we've come across besides RAM. So most of you saw my rant about my buyer yesterday. Not mad at him, by the way. Everybody's bound by market conditions. I am not mad at my buyer. But basically I had requested either an upgrade or a slight price increase on the boards I was sending because they were older, they were heavily gold laden, and way above what the standard was for dual socket motherboards. You guys have followed me through this, you know what you've seen me go through it. Respectfully, nicely, professionally, you know. The discussion came back, no, we kind of just law of averages it, which I can understand, because these guys get freaking truckloads and Gaylord boxes every day of equipment. But my problem with the new board grading is that it really screws us on older good grade boards. It's nobody's fault. Nobody's deliberately screwing us. It's the law of averages, and that's the way it's going to be. So, you have to live with it, and you have to figure out how are you going to still make money. My immediate advice is hold on to any of the older gold-bearing boards. That's not practical. We don't have room, we don't have storage, warehouses, and everything else. So, All right. Quiet morning, huh? By the way, guys, I will post this video on my YouTube, and if I can remember to stay under an hour, it'll be up on my TikTok channel as well. Let me just set a timer, because with TikTok, if you don't verify after an hour, it just cuts your live off with no warning whatsoever. Usually I'm off by the time that happens, but sometimes no. Alright. Timer is set. Material is here. Bobby, welcome. Ricky Dennis, welcome. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. It really helps the channel a lot. So, let's take a look at some of the other gold-bearing material that I've been finding in these servers. These are connector ends. They come in things that look like this. If you ever see this, there's usually good gold under it. The board itself has a big thing of square gold under it, so you know the pins are gold-bearing. These are not hard to process. What you wind up getting is something like this. Okay, so these are beautiful gold pins for those of you who are into gold refining. Great source. They're very lightweight. They're not expensive to ship. RAM can be a little heavy. CPUs can be heavy. But they're super easy to take apart. You got to get a pair of channel grips and get this top here off. So you get this part off. This just pulls. That pulls off like so. That'll expose this. And make sure that I'm in the camera view here. Hi Tibby, welcome. You'll get something that looks like this. All you really got to do is get the first one off, and the rest of it pretty much comes apart in your hands. I've already taken the end one off here. You got to bend this piece of metal off like this. There you go. And then you just whack these off with a chisel or a hammer. I've showed you some of these in some of my take-apart videos. I keep these. Unless you're selling the board as a high-grade telecom board, well, then you absolutely have got to keep. You absolutely have to leave those on there, or they will downgrade your board. And again, fairly and rightly so. I'm just really pissed about the dual-socket and multi-socket motherboards that are covered with chips, as compared to some of the crap that's out there now, and they want to pay the same price. I got a problem with it. Again, my problem, not anybody else's. I'm just really not happy about it. I don't think it's fair. But of course, I don't think that it's fair to the buyers, and I do buy boards, guys. it's not fair to the buyer that people expect top dollar for crap boards. So, you know, that's kind of how it goes. And I do maintain a good relationship with my buyer. I just don't agree with current policy, and that's okay. You know, nothing I can do about it. You can't fight City Hall. You know, it is what it is. I have 3 or 4 buyers, and the problem is everybody follows the same guidelines, and everybody did the same thing, except me, I guess. I make a differentiation for better boards because I can get more gold out of it. These are connector pins. I got these off of the server boards. These all came off the modules. This is heavy. These are gold. That's heavy. It's got some weight to it. And they came off something that looked like this. Okay, they're real easy. I just knocked this off and I just pulled them right out. They're very easy to process. It was sticking out from the bottom of the board. These were sticking out from the bottom of the board. You'll find these any place where there's a backplane board or something has to connect to something else. See, this connects to something else, so it's gold bearing. So I've still got a few more of those to process. This is about a 2-pound bag right now, give or take a little bit. $24.99 a pound, guys. You know, but it's ready for you. It'll be ready for you to just process. You don't have to take the time to do so. Again, if you're, by the way, I tell people this all the time. I'm working with a couple of our. Hi, Joshua. I'm working with a couple of my regular subscribers here who've put in a wish list, and on the wish list is what they wish to purchase, and you know, I will try to honor that order. I never take an order unless I can fill it. I don't like to do that, but I have no problem with people asking me to put things aside for them or let them know when I get something or other in stock. I usually just say watch the eBay store or watch my watch my posts. Okay, so these can go over here. All right. And I've actually started posting these up on the main page. Onto Wealthy Shannon. I'm with you. Alright, so this is some kind of an expansion card. I don't remember exactly what it is. I think it came out of a PCI riser card. 2005. You can see by the color of this board itself is very rich in gold-bearing material inside. If you were a person who shredded these things for gold refining, yeah, you'd do great. The board itself, if you're, you know, buying this for the purposes of gold refining, there's gold here. Tantalum capacitors. Now, I leave these on when I'm going to sell them to one of you guys because, you know, you need more value for your buck. Excellent gold fingers and a flip chip. So something like that you can buy for a lot less than you can buy RAM. You're not going to get as much, but you're going to get good value still. So that's an expansion card. These are awesome. Whoops, maybe not that one. Okay, this is a PCI riser card. This probably fit into this or some similar unit, and there were 2 of them here. So this is a PCI. This is the card, and these are the expansion cards. Again, it is lightweight. There's not a lot on it for chips. Excellent gold fingers, fairly lightweight, and good gold recovery here and here. There's some merit to cutting off these gold fingers and then reselling this as a low-grade board. I do not like to cut boards. A lot of things I don't like to do. And, you know, it's very toxic. These I save. That's not depopulated. That's just when they printed this, they printed a spot for another chip, and whoever made this board decided not to put a chip there, so that's not depopulated. This is another processing card of some type. Could be a video card or an audio card or some such thing. I try to get these off, but I don't want to break the board. So if I sell one of these to you guys, this is specifically what I would sell. Why would I? Because the gold fingers and the gold banded VGA. Maybe it's not worth it to you guys, and that's okay. I got them put aside right now. For me, if I had to sell this would just sell as a gold finger card or a high-grade peripheral board with gold fingers. I do keep these this exact one. I have a bunch of these aside. That's something I specifically offer. You know, like I said, I can sell them to a buyer. I got a Gaylord box full, and that's not a problem. Usually, I got rid of a lot of stuff, but you know. This is where the power supply is plugged in. That's very rich in gold material. I sell these in with backplane boards. You'll get a gold finger. You won't get chips, but you'll get nice gold pins here. 2005. So that's just a type of a backplane board. Backplane boards are great for gold pin recovery, guys. Not so much for chips, but they're great for gold pins. And again, that's really what I'm just trying to show you, some alternatives to RAM. There just isn't any. Yeah, see, now this one has both the chips on it. It's a, like a logic card. I think they call these logic cards. 2006. Remember, anything prior to 2020 is much better for gold recovery. There's gold here. Gold fingers. And probably good gold in here too. So that is a logic card. Now, I think if I got this right, logic cards go into riser cards. I'm not a computer person, so sweet. Mr. Bob, good morning. Like I said, I will repost this video. Now these were really good. These were awesome. The hard drives from Hades, as I called them, they were completely sealed shut. I got one apart. All that was in it was platters. The case was aluminum, so I knocked everything out of the case and sold them all as dirt. I took the boards off and sold them as dirty aluminum. Too much effort, too much time, and for me, being here alone, too dangerous. You know, I don't like to work with power tools when I'm alone and everybody else is at work, so. And it's, you know, really, more than it's time and it's strength. I don't have the strength to do that heavy stuff. I don't want to. I don't have to. I like doing what I'm doing. I like taking them apart. I like getting the boards, and I like reselling the boards, and then just, you know. Sometimes I'll sell palletfuls of stuff. I sold a pallet full of power supplies. But those stack up easy, and I hit one of the yard was paying 11 cents a pound. I put it up for bid in my eBay store, and somebody came and got it. It was all on a pallet. All they did was get a forklift and a truck and come get it. That worked out pretty well, but I don't like to store stuff. I'm a hobby scrapper. I think that's really what it comes down to, you know? I really am a hobby scrapper. So anyway, these came off the old hard drive boards. I will sell that as a non-SATA high-grade hard drive board. They're selling, I think, BoardStore's got them for $17 or $18 a pound. Very densely populated. This could sell easily as a high-grade telecom board. I'm going to sell it for whichever one's going to make me more money, to tell you the truth. Here's another one. This is what you look for in these. To be considered a high-grade non-SATA, it has to have the double row of gold pins, the jumpers, and be good in gold bearing materials. And this is not heavy to ship. So, old school hard drive boards, excellent for you guys who are into gold recovery. I'll try and get a couple of pounds of those up this Maybe today, because it's raining, I'm not going to be able to get out and do much. And again, I'm just trying to show you some of the other gold-bearing materials that are out there besides RAM. You won't find these kind of boards in newer computers. They don't have gold pins, and that's just some kind of crap. I don't know how else I'll soak that off after. I save this gold ribbon wires. I do a giveaway every once in a while where I give away a bag of stuff with an order or something. That's kind of extra stuff I usually toss in. Again, this came off an old hard drive, but the problem is I don't have the pins. I think they came off and they're in another pile, so that would have to probably go in with telecom boards. This one's okay. I've got the gold connector pins here. So again, hard drive, non-SATA. Fantastic for gold recovery, you guys. See, I'm going to take this bucket over to my storage bin, and I'm going to just sort it all into buckets and leave it there. These are awesome. I don't get as many of these as I used to. I got these off of Dell Blade servers. This would sell for me as a high-grade peripheral board with gold connector pins. If I knock this off, it would be straight out a gold connector, a peripheral high-grade board. But I leave these on because my business model is to sell to people who refine gold. These usually sitting on the top of the module, like so, or like so. Some type of backplane board. It's got the stickers on it. You can't see it because of these stickers, but there's all gold under here so that you know this is gold bearing material. Basically, what you'll get out of this are these. Possibly smaller. There may not be as much plastic. I don't remember. So these are excellent. I sold out of these too. So that'll be a peripheral high-grade board with gold connector ends. Those you'll find in blade modules. Server nodes. You won't find them in PCs, I don't think. A blade module or a blade node sits inside of the computer. Like these things. The nodes sit inside of the computer, and there could be 4, 8, 12, 16, whatever size the computer is. Most of them have 4. And in the array will be CPUs, RAM, and a couple of other goodies. So it's like each quadrant of the server would have a node in it. Those nodes are excellent for gold recovery. If you can get a pallet full of blade nodes, you don't have all the waste that you have with servers. For somebody like me, you certainly don't have the weight to deal with. These frickin' things are heavy. I have to take them apart in the car before I can even consider moving them. And there's a lot of waste with servers. There's all the metal. There's a lot of waste on the boards. But the blade nodule boards easily sell as dual socket motherboards. Let me see if I got one here I can show you real quick. So, these are called nodes. Sometimes they're called blade modules, and they attach to the mainframe of the computer and do their thing. But see, I can still sell this as a dual socket motherboard. I got my CPUs. I got my RAM. I didn't get a lot of the peripheral stuff. I didn't get power supplies. I didn't get a lot of wire. But what I did get is good value for my money. There's not a lot of waste on here. So that's a dual socket server board, by the way. I did take gold pins from here, and I took them from here because nothing is going to change this from being a dual socket motherboard. If I knock these out, I lose the value and get downgraded. this is where the value is on this board for the buyer, and the gold in here. So this one this one there's no argument about. This is fine. That goes in dual socket motherboard. That's it. So those I did very well. I got a pallet of blade modules. Really, really, really good for you know, CPUs and RAM and stuff like that. Sorry guys, I'm either coming down with a cold or my allergies have bloomed. Not sure which right now. This is a backplane board. In this case, this is the backplane board where the hard drives would plug in. Good gold recovery here. Not so much in the way of chips, but you can see backplane boards usually have a very high quality gold to them. The value really is not so much, but a lot of people like to buy these for gold recovery for gold pins. Backplane board. There's a lot of different things that can go into backplane board. Basically, a backplane board is anything gold that plugs into anything gold. Oh, here's the other part of that board that I was looking for. So again, these are non-SATA high-grade hard drive boards. Great for you guys who are doing gold recovery. And then these I think run about, I don't know, maybe 20 bucks a pound as opposed to 40 bucks a pound for RAM right now. So, you know, you won't get the gold fingers, but you certainly will get gold chips. I think it depends what you're looking for, you know, what your comfort level is. A lot of people like to refine gold fingers. Hi, Vito. First time I haven't caught you on a live in a long time. How you been? You're always saying hello and always sending likes. I see your name come across my feed quite often, and a very good morning to you. Alright, let's see what else I got in here. And again, this is, you know, this is just to show you guys some of the other places you can find gold. It ain't all in the RAM. So this is just a low-grade board. I don't remember what I got it out of. I really don't. But there's some gold here, some gold here. Really nice gold in through here. I don't remember what I got this out of. Could have even just been a scrap board someone gave me. Yeah, probably just go low-grade peripheral board, but I'd have to leave this. If I take these gold fingers off, then it goes as a low-grade board. Nothing special there. Oh, these are really nice too. These, what did I get these out of? I think I got these out of the Dell blade modules, or one of the something Dell. I've got maybe a dozen of these. Again, they grade as a peripheral high grade board, or you can throw them in with gold finger cards. You got your nice BGA chip here, your gold here. So that's another place you can get some nice gold for. I usually throw them in with my gold fingers, but if I have enough, I'll put those aside separately. I can't remember what they're actually called offhand. I could Google lens it, which I did at one point. Copyright 2007. Older the golder. And there's another PCI riser card. Gold here, gold here. Not much else value-wise. Alright, I think that's going to be it for the... There's another backplane board. That one came out of her server. All gold pins, not a lot of chips. The board itself, very, very good for gold recovery once it's shredded and refined. A lot of gold here. It's just a standard server backplane board. It's another Goldfinger card with the BGA chip. Now, this one will sell as a peripheral high-grade board. There's gold here, and there's a chip here. with peripheral high, you've got to have visible gold. We clearly do here. Not as much gold recovery for you guys, though, but that's something I'll probably sell to a refiner. There's not a lot of good... Well, I take that back. There is good gold recovery here. So this is just an example of a peripheral high-grade board. Something of quality chip-wise and visible gold. I've got almost a box of those ready. Another one of those. This one's good. That will go in with the peripheral high-grade gold fingers. Again, these are things that I do save specifically for you guys. I put really good pictures up. You know exactly what you're getting. There's a really good one. Same thing. High-grade peripheral board with gold fingers. And one of these. So, yeah, there's plenty of... I've got a pound of these ready to go. I'm not sure what the price is. I have to look it up this morning. You know, with this tariff crap going on. God in heaven only knows what the market's going to do today. You know, all this stuff is tied up in the commodities market. By the way, I sell all these things separately. If you're interested in any particular type of material, send me a picture. Well, you'd have to get my email from me. You know. Anyway. Quiet this morning. OTD may beat me to the punch this morning, which is fine. He's on every morning. But as I said, for me, I repost my lives, so, you know, if somebody was on somebody else's live enjoying them, they can always go back and just check out my live too. So here's another. These I've got by themselves because of the gold content. These are backplane boards, specifically where the power supply is plugged in. And I've got those aside. These are good for gold recovery. Gold pin recovery, not so much chips. That's a good way to put that. Good for gold pin recovery, not so great for chips. All right. I hope that was enlightening. I hope it gives you some other places to look. Good morning, Paw Joey. Good morning, user ending in 832. So those are some of the places you will find gold besides RAM, which is almost impossible to get. I sold 10 pounds of it last week. I wish I hadn't sold it, but I had to raise money. And, then of course everybody wanted RAM. These do not resell well. These are pinless CPUs with a heavy copper heatsink. They sell for about $8 or $9 per pound. I don't do well reselling these. Oh, those I'm just going to... oh, Jesus, gosh almighty, that's heavy. That's going off to my buyer this morning. Again, these were really good, clean connector ends. I hope that was helpful to you. Good morning, Chris. I hope, showing you some of these other sources of, gold recovery is of use to you. Because this server that I have this morning is nothing great. It is a polywell. There's a company called Polycom. Polycom makes communication, conferencing, cameras, all kinds of really cool stuff. And I wouldn't. This logo looks similar to theirs, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's an offshoot of the same company. This to me looks like a glorified gaming computer. Now, this is old. I don't know how old it is. I know most of the computers we got out of this lot were pre-2020. This is an Asus motherboard. It's a colored motherboard. OEM production. So this is that's why I think it's a production server. You've got graphics cards here. You got another one here. And this is shielded RAM. This is typical what you get out of a gaming computer. This is just shielded RAM. You have to apply heat, and then you can pop the heat shield off. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to wind up doing that today. I've got some shielded RAM left over. And because I've got another buyer who wants 10 pounds of RAM, I have to go ahead and I have to go in and clean all that shielded RAM, which I don't mind doing. It's fine. I usually sell that for a lot less. You just hit the heat. You just hit this with some heat. Screwdriver, pop it off. There's paste in here, and if you try to pull this off, you're going to pull the chips. Your buyer, she's not going to like that, huh? I'm glad I'm not going anywhere today. I really feel like crap. So again, this is shielded RAM. That's probably a pound right there. I'll heat this and I'll pop the heat shields off. I'm going to have to do that because I need to fill that order. This is another place you can find some gold too. This is a power. This is off a where a power supply plugged into the computer. Look at the copper in here. This is where I have this is part of my piss off about the boards. This is a much better board than this is going to be. This is a piece of plastic and fiberglass crap. This is high quality. As a buyer, I know this is a crappy board. I'm not going to pay as much as I would have for a board like this. But a lot of the buyers aren't making that distinction, and that's where I've got a problem. It's new. It's going to sort itself out. I'm not going to get all bent out of shape about it. Well, I guess I am. I lied. I'm bent out of shape about it. I hate selling these older boards. I really do. But I'd like to have one house and not three, you know? My yard is buying these for 11 cents a pound. At least they were because of the copper content. I don't know. It took a big crap yesterday, so I don't know. $1.49 a pound it went down. Good place to watch for information on that is the iScrap app. Tom is very good. He's very, very educational about this, about the commodities and the price of scrap. Of course, he owns a scrapyard, so he better be. And Shark Scrapper is really good with discussion about that. I think you could go in and put hashtag commodities pricing or hashtag copper pricing today or some such thing. Don't go by the scrapyard. They're going to give you the lowest value they can. Alright, so here's where I'm going to get the backplane board. Sorry guys, I really sound awful this morning. I'm sorry. It's August. I get sick every August is what happens. My allergies start and then I'll just get a nasty sinus thing and it's as regular as a clock. So if you don't see me, it's because I'm sick. I like getting up and doing this morning live. I like doing one or two things in the morning with you. Like I said, I know OTD is on as well, but he stays on like all day, and I don't know where he gets his energy. I couldn't talk that long. God bless him. Very knowledgeable too. He does a lot with gold recovery, and a lot of you guys with your micro scrapping just absolutely blow me away. I'm looking for a year on this computer. Sometimes it's on the wall. These are SATA connections, so it's not that old. SATA versus non-SATA ribbon wires. They're about this big. They're cheap-looking, plasticky stuff, but they usually signal that there's something gold-bearing underneath, whereas SATA connections, not as much. There's really nothing here except the backplane board. You get some good wireage out of servers. that you don't get out of the blade nose. Where did I put my cutters? Let's see. I put them away. Gee, whoops, there's another foot. Yeah, put them away. I'm determined to get all this e-scrap garbage out of my kitchen today. That's today's job. But I'm waiting. We had an engineer in, to assess the damage from our flood. It wasn't a natural flood. It was the kitchen sink overflowed because the town decided to up everybody's water pressure, and I have old plumbing. So when they did that, it caused my sink to kind of turn on by itself. And thank God I was home. That's all I can say. The amount of damage I got with being home, I can just imagine how it would have been if I was away. Whole first floor got flooded. Last estimate I got was almost $70,000, but the insurance company doesn't want to pay it, of course. They want to fix it. Like, you can't fix it. I have mold. Maybe that's why I'm sick. So they sent an engineer out last week to go through with the contractor to try to determine what was new damage and what was old. I said, this is really easy. I bought the house in February. Here's the inspection report. There wasn't anything wrong with the house. There was no mold. There was no damage anywhere. I know because I've lived in this house most of my life, and I've lived here the past 15 taking care of my mother. I know this house. Oh, anyway, you know how it goes. So, I've got that going on. Where the hell I'm going to live for a month while they fix my house, but the contractor says I can live in it. I'm like, I don't think I can. I have really bad dust allergies. So, we got that garbage going on. You know me. The glass is half empty, half full. I'm the half full person. I'm an optimist. I figure it out day by day, and, we get her done. Not too worried about it. Just all this dancing around. I mean, this accident happened in May. I should have been fixed by now. Not still fighting with insurance companies 3 months later. God is good to me. I'll be fine. That's why I've been trying to buy and sell so much e-scrap. I'm just trying to raise funds any way I can. Connect to motherboard only. I also sold a lot of my inventory from my band instrument retail business. Sold a lot of stuff. Thank God I had it to fall back on. But, we got that coming up. Fall we'll be busy with that. So, just, basic wireage here, nothing. By the way, guys, speaking of places to get gold, don't discount these. Those are beautiful gold pins, gold connector ends. Make sure you check your, see both of these I'll cut. I'll take both of these. Board sort will buy both. Thank God for board sort. They're really smart. They actually just, they were really one of the first at the table with this whole, board buying thing. They've been at it the longest. And you go to any buyer, anywhere, including yours truly, you're going to look over a load. The first thing you're going to do is open and see what's board sort paying today. If you're a scrapyard, you'll offer board sort less 90%. Me, I evaluate every board and I show my buyer. Most of my regular sellers know, what I'll take and what I won't. I have no problem rejecting the load because it's crap. I'm at a point I can do that. You know, I don't want your crap. You think I'm paying $7.49 for a bunch of crap per pound? No, no, no. But I have to send pictures, and I explain things to people too, because a lot of people, when they first get into this whole scrapping and board sorting and computer sorting, they don't know what they're doing. I didn't know what I was doing when I started. Go watch some YouTube, man. There's plenty of stuff out there. Watch me. That's probably something I should do, huh? I think I should do a board buying tutorial. I think that would be of great value. I will do that probably. I don't know when I'm going to do that. I got to put some thought into that. I'll have to plan that out a little bit. I've still got to finish the Computer Scrapper website. I got to get the price list up. I got to get the order forms up. The problem, because of the flood, is a lot of the electric was shut off because the electrical panel got wet, and we've got temporary bypasses going on, so I can't upstairs. I can't run the air conditioning in my office, which is on the upper floor, and it's 200 degrees up there. So, we'll get through. So I really wish they'd fix this, because it's not I can't even work in the office. It's too hot. I've been using the lower floor, but I really don't like my main living quarters tied up with computer crap and instruments. And, but we're getting there. They've got the engineer's report came in yesterday. I have yet to see it. I just got notification that it had arrived. And I really I'm very blessed. I got a really cool contractor. He was here with the inspector, the engineer. He went through everything. Really went to bat for me. And we'll see. I really don't like the adjuster. Treats women like garbage. I don't like people like that. Absolute contempt in everything he said. I really don't like him at all. I don't like people who talk down to other people like they're better than they are. I hate that. I don't do it. Of course, nobody's better than me, so I don't. Just kidding. Yeah, I must be waking up. Here come the bad jokes. With servers, you just got to start unscrewing stuff, and eventually you'll get it all apart. This one's not too hard, not too bad. Alright. Alright, I've already gotten the powers. I think I got the power supply out. Did I? Doesn't look like I did, does it? Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to unscrew the power supply. Alright. This doesn't have a pull-out. This one's an unscrewed. I sold a bunch of power supplies yesterday, too. I sold a pallet load, and then I took the rest up to the scrapyard. I wound up selling the old-school hard drive as just aluminum breakage. I took them apart, and I got the boards off. There's no way I'm selling those boards. Breakage. Yeah, see, I'll take this whole tub of stuff and I'll go off to go to my storage bin, and I'll sort it all there. And then I'll have the eBay shelf up, so I'll just be able to pull orders. I've done eBay resale for $1 million. Oh, Jesus, that's heavy. $1 million years. I've got that part of the business really well organized. Gosh almighty, that's heavy. Alright, onward. That's the problem with servers, man, they're honking heavy. Yeah, I shouldn't have any problem getting this board out. I am going to turn this. And I'd like to try to get this CD-ROM, CD, DVD driver out. Why did I cut the wires? To put them in with my, I'm going to sell the wire. I'm scrapping the computer, Shane. This one doesn't work. There's a big burn spot on it because it's a cruddy plastic board. So it's not worth reselling. It's damaged. I already found it. I found the burn spot as soon as I opened it. That's one of the first things I check. And usually when somebody scrapped a gaming computer, that's why these plastic fiberglass boards just can't, they don't handle it well. And they tend to burn. So that's what happened in this one. That's why it's out of commission. There's no resale here because it's damaged. And I already know that. I do check that, by the way, guys. I plug it in. If it'll start running, you know, hook it up to the monitor. If it runs, well, then I'll try to resell it. But 9 times out of 10, they're sold to me knowing for scrap. We know they don't work. No, that's what I buy. I buy things that don't work because I want to scrap them. I don't want to fix them, and I don't want to resell them. I don't want to bother. It's not what I want to do. I want to break stuff. Oh man, that hard drive from hell the other day, that was terrible. I should probably take that down. That needs to be one of the most embarrassing videos ever. But I am going to leave it up because a lot of the videos I do to educate people. And I'll show you what's in there. Hey, I got a chance to go buy a whole pallet full of optoplexes. I'm going to go get them. You're going to get very disappointed because there's not much in them. That's why I put the video up. Find your model number, find somebody who scrapped one, and take a look to see if it's worth buying or not. Yeah, not picking on Optiplex, by the way. It's a small form computer, and for what it does, it's fine. That is a copper aluminum heatsink. That's a very clean heatsink. I'm really surprised that this unit burnt. Huh. And there's plenty of cooling things in here. But yeah, there's definitely a burn spot right by the CPU. Big burn spot. I smelled it. I smelled it when I opened it. And I just, like I said, I don't believe in throwing money down the tube. I get it all the time. Why did you scrap that valuable It's not. It's broken. I bought it broken. Believe me, I've resold plenty of stuff. Plenty. Plenty. If I can, I do. If I can wipe it and there's no chance of somebody's data going with it, yeah, I'll sell it. I used to have a cousin who was really good at he worked with Lexus all the time. And I'll tell you, he's probably doing very well for himself right now because a lot of these older servers, they won't be able to upgrade Windows anymore. I know he was talking about, well, run Linksys, something else on it that's slower. It's okay, it'll work. It'll be slow, but it'll work. Which, to somebody whose data is on all this stuff, probably is invaluable, huh? I don't know. That's, you know what? That ain't my ballywick. Hey, JPZ Scrap, good morning to you. Not the CPU, I said the board by the CPU. Looks to be burned. It's one of those plastic fiberglass boards, one of those Asus boards. There was a burn spot just near the CPU. I could smell it when I opened the case. You could smell it. But when I bought this, they told me it wasn't working, and they didn't know. Well, when I picked it up, they told me that it was broken. They didn't know it was worth it. Drum roll, please. Let's see what we get. Boo hiss. I was hoping for a pin CPU. We got, bet you it's a Xeon. No, No freaking way. You notice I took that out very carefully? No way. Wait a minute, let me make sure my eyes are not deceiving me. Guys, this is a $90 chip right here. Holy shit. Intel i7 3938K. Snobby Scrapper, look what I got. Holy crap. You gotta be so careful. I did not expect that. Wow. It's beautiful. It's clean. Look at that. Why am I so excited? Because I-cores sell very well. Wow. Ugh. Ha. I've got 5 more of these outside. I can't wait to go get them apart. You know, well, that is an I-core. I guess that's not quite an I-core. I've never seen an I-core this big. I'm blown away. I'm just trying to make sure my eyes aren't deceiving me. Core i7 3938K. Holy shit. Thank you, Jesus. That's a payday. That's money. Sorry. Speaking of places you can find gold, the only CPUs that have good resale are the I-cores. i3, not so much anymore. The i5 and the i7 and the i9, I believe. Oh my God, I'm shocked. And if you want to find out about CPU resale, check out Snobby Scrapper. He sells them on eBay. He does real well, but of course he knows what he's doing and he can test them and everything. That chip has nothing wrong with it, I'm sure. I have 2 places I can sell it. I can put it on eBay. I've got to pack it really carefully. I actually have to go to the computer store. I have to get some, wow. I said the holy S-H-I-T, I'm sorry. Oh. Alright, that's my timer going off to warn me that I'm coming close to an hour. I have to watch for my verification. Or I could just cut the video off now, but I don't want to do that. If it goes over an hour, I can't put it up on YouTube. I have to put it on, I can't put it on TikTok. Gotta put it on YouTube. G4620, I will check that. I don't think there's a lot of resale on it, but we'll definitely check it. I don't think so. I'll check. And I was careful when I pulled that off, by the way. I think I should probably take this and put it with it. I mean, I see these graphics cards and these audio cards up for sale all the time. I'll put that over with that. They should go together. All right. Wow. Well. Anybody want to buy an i7? Let me know. All right, timer, I hear you. You know, that's a rare find. And the chip is clean, so my guess is, and the computer was very clean. I mean, look at this. Look how clean this is. So my guess is this board burnt very early on in its life, and this thing wasn't used. Wow. Wow. That almost makes up for the hard drive from hell, huh, guys? Wow. That doesn't go there. Wow. I might have to turn this up. There we go. There's my verification. Ha! You can't kick me off this time because I saw you. It's got this little stupid puzzle piece. You have to drag over the puzzle piece. And if you don't do it in time, it just shuts your live off with no warning. Yes, I hear you. All right. I might... Let me turn this around. There might be something holding here. I can't really show you the burn spot because the board is black and so is the burn spot. But yeah, it's burnt. She's like me, I'm getting burned out. I need a vacation is what I need. Maybe that's what I'll do while they're fixing my house. I'll go on a cruise or something. Alright, let's see if we can get this out. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Alright, well, so this is an Asus motherboard. This will sell as an iCore board. The i-series boards sell for a lot less because of the plastic. Back 6 months, this would have sold as a small metal socket colored motherboard. Now it's an iCore board. They sell them for less because there's no value to a buyer here, very little. Oh, the value is here. This is pinned. There's gold here. I'm curious as to what's in here. I think I'm going to Google Lens this to see if it's going to be worth me taking apart. I don't think there's a lot of gold recovery here. I really don't. I think in this case I'm going to leave that on for weight and leave it on for my buyer. There's probably another big CPU under here of some type. Yeah, there's very little gold flashing on this. There's very little gold recovery. Basically, these boards suck. Yeah, terrible. But you know, I understand what they did, JP. It was they went way down. I do. You know, if you've been following me, you've heard me ranting about this whole freaking downgrade. For people like me who specialize in old vintage computers, those pre-2020 boards, they're worth a hell of a lot more than this crap that's here now, but they won't give you a difference in the price. That's where I have a problem. But I've already had a rant about it this morning, and nobody needs to hear me rant yet again. I understand what they did. I understand why they did it. BoardSort did a really fantastic explanation of why they did it. From a business model, I get it. The problem is there's no wiggle room. I think boards pre-2020 should get a much higher price because there's so much more gold content. Not like this crap. It's $1.49 a pound. If I didn't get this for free, I wouldn't have bought it. Although, now that I know there's an iCore chip, I'm going to have to go see if I can get more. That's going to be my project for today. I'm going to go do for the pile and see if I'm going to get lucky again with these. Yeah. So this is a pretty good heat. This is a cooling, what do you call it? Heatsink. Cooling fan. Ugh. Scrappy D needs another cup of coffee. I'm almost done with this live anywho for today. The only boards that are good are the large socket and small plastic. You're right; those stayed well, but I'm really PO'd about dual socket metal motherboards. I mean, I asked for an upgrade, and basically what they said: sorry guys, it's laws of average. We take the good along with the bad. I'm like, well, how is that fair? You know, nicely, you know, it was a respectful disagreement. And I guess if I got truckloads of stuff in every day, I would say the same thing. They don't have time to go through every damn board. I get that. But my stuff is sorted when it gets there. You know, they don't. It's all in the same thing is all in the same box. They don't have to do that. Yeah. On the other side of the coin, every once in a while, yeah, you do get an upgrade. But basically, we all have to relearn how to grade boards. It's all different. I think really it only affects PC boards and server boards. Telecom is telecom. You can't miss telecom. It's just this whole thing with pre-2020. Anyway, as you can see, it's a very distressing situation for all of us who do e-scrap. Everybody's in the same boat. I was hoping they would make a secondary upgrade and put them in a category pre-2020. And I think that needs to happen. My problem is I don't have enough space to wait for that to happen. Yeah, I don't know. JD's e-scrap with this tariff thing in the stock market. The stock market is going to open, I think, 500 or 600 points lower. That's going to hit commodities. All the tariff things hit this morning. Of course, on Monday they'll be all fixed again, and it'll all go back up. Biggest insider trading scam I've ever seen. Get everybody upset, make everybody sell off on Friday so we can all buy it back on Monday. Unbelievable. Anyway, I gotta watch it. I don't like to do politics. I probably will. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that. See that? Look, it's not even a gold-banded BGA. It's a flip chip. Rubbish, garbage. Okay, but thanks for the iCore. All right, ladies, gentlemen, friends of the channel et al. I am going to sign off. Nice speaking with all of you. Nice to see some of our new followers. I will post this on my hi Jeremiah. I will hi Break Shops. Thank you for the gifts. I will put this up on my YouTube channel. It'll probably be entitled "Scrapping a Polywell Server," and this way, you know, you can see what's in there. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for spending some time with me. JP, nice chatting with you. Have a great day, everybody. God bless you. Bye-bye.